Hey guys, how is it going? So, I want to talk a little bit about an animal that I love my snakes and I love my lizards, but man, I like my tortoises too, right? I hope you guys been doing well. I've been doing fantastic. I've just been hanging out with my animals, working hard, enjoying life, going surfing a little bit. I don't really talk about tortoises too much. They're not like if I have to choose between a snake, a lizard, and tortoise, they're not going to be the first thing I choose, but I think they're awesome animals and I think they're very cool, very rewarding, and I would not turn them down in terms of having one as a pet for sure. There's two tortoises that I absolutely love. I think they're very special. They're very easy to maintain. There's some that get really big, like sulcata tortoises. You get them when they're like that big, right? And they get ginormous. Red-footed tortoises come in kind of different variations of color. He's more of a classic one. There's some that have like the really cherry red heads and it's so cool. I absolutely adore it. But those are kind of a higher price tag. They will eat any types of, when it comes to bugs. So they'll eat insects and all that. He loves his pelleted diet. I can't really get him to eat worms, which I find kind of hard. And I think it's more of that it's hard for him to pick up. It's hard for him to grab with his mouth. And so he doesn't do it as easily. He loves his greens and get away with a lot more with these guys in terms of their diet and have something really easy to feed them in your cabinet, in your pantry, and not constantly running out for fresh greens all the time like my bearded dragon likes to make me do. My beardy, I swear, I've tried doing pelleted with him and he just won't do it. Like, I think he'll eat it and he just avoids it fully. I can't find a pelleted diet that he really enjoys. And it's annoying because I really like the idea of having something easy that I can throw in there that's a good mixture of, vitamins and minerals and all that. That kind of gives them a little extra punch of nutrition, but I can't find one that's good for him. So I don't know. Maybe he gets a little bit when he eats his greens, like just a little bite, and maybe that's as good as it gets, but I'll just keep providing it to him. Maybe one day he'll be like, wait, why haven't I liked this all these years? I want this stuff, and he'll eat it. I don't know. One thing to mention is if you live in an area with hawks, ravens, not so much crows, but maybe even crows, it's good to protect your tortoises, unless they're like bigger ones. Like, he's on the cusp of being big enough. I would say he's big enough, but anything this size and smaller, protect them from birds. They can actually grab them, fly away with them. It happens. It's one of those things that you wouldn't think. You would think, why would they want a tortoise? But it's happened. So definitely protect them if you have them outside. He's really sweet. He's great. Like most tortoises, they are easily scared. So they may, unless they're on the ground, walk around freely. When you're holding them, they get a little stressed out and they may pee or poo on you. It's just what they do. I love these guys. If you have any questions about tortoises in general or selecting a tortoise, reach out to me, write a comment, subscribe, or also visit me on Instagram. I love helping people out in terms of finding, the right reptile for them. Let me go ahead and put him back in his enclosure so he can get his little greens for the day. And I will go ahead and grab my other tortoise that I recommend if you want something a little smaller. There are some downsides to him, so I'll talk about that too. Okay, give me a second. This is going to be my Russian tortoise. Now, Russian tortoises stay pretty small and they're very, very slow growers, which is fantastic if you have a small apartment, if you don't want a large tortoise, which I enjoy not having a ginormous tortoise. They're fantastic for that reason. They're very versatile. Kids love them. They're great. They only eat green, so they're not going to be eating any meats, any insects, or anything like that. They're totally little vegetable eaters, so it makes them grow really slow for that reason. These guys don't want much water. Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned, the red-footeds like more water, more moisture in their environment. These guys are going to be more arid, so they want dryness. They do still need their water. Kind of bad drinkers. I never see them go over their bowls, try to drink water. I offer it, but they never want it. I go ahead and just soak them. They'll be like sitting in it, and they're like, it'll finally register like, oh, this is water. I need this. It takes them a little bit to figure that out, but they do eventually figure it out. You can definitely have them for a very long time. Now, the only downside to these guys, and it depends on how you look at it, is they live up to 150 years with the correct care. So this is something that you're going to have to put in your will. This is something you're going to have to pass down through your family. This is a commitment, a major commitment. Red-footed tortoises live more up to like 75 years. I know they're adorable when you grab them and when you see them at reptile shops. I mean, one of the things that really bothers me is that, sulcata tortoises, they hatch. They have a huge clutch that they hatch, and you see them all the time available at pet shop. These tiny little tortoises, and they're adorable, and kids love them, and people love them. I really don't feel like sulcatas should be so prevalent in the industry. I feel like Russians, things like this, should be more prevalent because they're more manageable. You're not going to be able to have like a 200-pound tortoise walking around in an apartment, you know? And if, you know, you can plan ahead and you can say, oh, well, I will one day have a house, or I will one day have that backyard that I want. But what if you don't? Then you have to deal with, you know, this great tortoise that you've had your whole life that you committed to taking care of, and you can't take care of them anymore. So I'm all for the smaller tortoises. I just think they're more manageable, more enjoyable. They're adorable. They stay super cute like you want it to, right? The little small ones, you want to stay cute. Well, why don't we get a little small one that stays cute, you know? I also have on my website some care sheets. I believe I have one on Russians and red-footeds and also sulcatas, so you can see the difference of them. And there's also some like pros and cons for each one. So like if you don't like the size of a sulcata, it may be good to get a red-footed or one of these guys, that kind of thing. So it can help you select them in the long run. So thanks guys for tuning in, and talk to you next week. Bye guys.